Right, now we're supposed to go to
Well done in
Ginza.
accomplishing this feat.
We're not.
By your actions, man has wrested back their own world. But keep this always in mind. Man is a creature that repeats its mistakes. A day will come again that we must fight. This is but a brief farewell. Until then. Now, bring the great spirit of goodwill and the great spirit of spite to me.
Why did the game say I had to go to Ginza? I didn't have to go to Ginza at all. Ugh. Well, now I know how to manage to eat all the barriers. That's... That's... That was horrifying.
He is gone. Now the Eastern Kingdom of Mikado and Tokyo will become one. Ah, look!
We gotta see this tower collapse, we just vanished into thin air. Yeah, I thought so. This kind of ruined the cities, doesn't it? Seeing everything fall, right? Or not? Oh? Something got angry. I think. Behold, a blue sky. Uh, what? Oh, Masakado, I think. Oh, hey, look. The little girl is back.
Everyone came back. I'm so happy.
Suddenly a woman.
My dear human, I am revived. It is all due to your efforts in granting hope to everyone. Tokyo will be restored to its former splendor. See, it begins. Thanks.
Oh, that was the end. I did not think that Walter was going to be the final boss. Huh. Well, would you look at that? We beat Shin Megami Tensei 4. Now, this is not vocal, so I'm gonna assume it's not copywritten, but I'm gonna give my review of the game anyway, so... Yeah, would you look at that? We beat the game. Woohoo! So, yeah. I would say the game was enjoyable for a Shin Megami Tensei game. Because if I have to compare it to like the other Shin Megami Tensei games I've played, which would be Shin Megami Tensei 3 and Shin Megami Tensei 5, that in terms of gameplay, I would say it's on par with the other two. I wouldn't necessarily say the combat is better or worse than the other two games. But obviously, 5 is better because it has more modern mechanics, like better customization of the protagonist. Which I have to say, SMT3 also did with the Magatamas. It had a better... I would say it was a negative. It was a lot easier to customize the resistances and all that on the Nahubino and what's it called now? Demi-Fiend. There we go, Demi-Fiend. I remember the name. The Demi-Fiend and Nahubino were easier to customize than the Samurai. But that's only because it was a cosmetic thing as well. I would have preferred it if it wasn't that it changed your outwards look, changing your resistances. That I will say, I wish that wasn't the case. But yeah. The recruitment, I would say this game was way worse than 3 and 5. That's like the lowest point of the game is the recruitment system. I know Raptor, who have watched these streams, he likes that the demons are douchey. And I can admit, the conversations can be fun with what they say. That I can admit to. However, from a player perspective, needing to talk to one demon over 5 times just for a chance to recruit them is not that fun. I have to admit, it's not that fun. And I also don't like the... I know this is says it New Game Plus, but I'm gonna continue my review. I also don't like that the amount of maca that you get from the fundraise. Now, I know I didn't get the highest tier fundraise, but the fact that you get barely 1,000 maca when using the fundraise skill on high level demons is bad. Because I can understand getting like 100 maca, 200 maca if you use fundraise on demons or like level 20, level 30, because then stuff aren't as expensive. But when you are at the end of the game, you should get at minimum 1,000 maca from the demons. Because the demons themselves are more expensive to both fuse and recruit, and the healing items are also more expensive to buy. So the fundraise skill being not that good, didn't enjoy. Now, I did really like the massive demon selection the game has, because it had a massive pool of demons. Because I don't even think I scratched the surface of the amount of demons you could actually recruit and fuse and all that. So that is a huge bonus. That the fact that you have so many demons to choose from, that I can confidently say that's a massive bonus. That means you can have a lot of you can learn a lot of different lores from the demons and all that about like the origin of the actual mythological creature. Because I assume that the lore that they have that you can read in the compendium is derived from the actual myth and not just something they cooked up. The design for most demons, I overall enjoyed them. Like, I think I can confidently say it's probably like an 80-20 split on enjoying the demon designs. Because there were a few that I didn't enjoy, but there were also a lot that I did enjoy. So that's another huge bonus. And as I said, the story, although it wasn't deep, it was always present and intriguing enough to, hook you on the line. I do wish though to give a little bit more explanation on Burrows though, because it felt like they were trying to give you an explanation to Burrows when you first enter Neutral Path, but then they kind of gave up on trying to explain Burrows, which is a little bit unfortunate. I would wish to learn a little bit more about her and maybe actually see Burrows' whole face, because throughout the entire game, all you see is a torso and half a face. It would have been nice to get to see how the full body of Burrows looks like, instead of just being, oh, here you go, half a face and a torso. So I think I would give this game a solid 7.5 out of 10, I would think. It could have gotten higher if again, if the demon, if the demon recruitment wasn't so awful, it could have gotten a higher rating. But it did have things that I enjoyed. And a major bonus I forgot to mention, I have said for now, the fact that you don't get a game over when the protagonist dies is a huge bonus. And I really don't understand why they didn't keep with it for SMT5 after 4. It really was a no-brain move to be, oh hey, people enjoyed the no instant game over when protagonist dies from the 4th game. Maybe we should keep it in the 5th game. Instead of going, no, let's revert back to the archaic method that MC dies equals game over. Now, characters, I'll have to say that I can say I confidently like 3 characters that I enjoyed throughout. And that would be Isabu. I think she was a cute, fun character. I really liked Walter. He had some very nice singers, and I feel like his worldview was a lot more, you know, challenging to oppose compared to agree to with Walter. So I liked Walter as a character, and even though she was a side character that you only saw like for like a quest line, I did like Nozomi. I mean, it's a kind of a shame she just is for that quest line, and kind of gets like, oh, you don't have never hear from her again. Like, it would be nice to know if Nozomi actually successfully found a safe haven for fairies and all that. But I'd say like those would be like the three characters that stood out. Now I know Tayama, I could say this, he was a good villain, because even though I really dislike Tayama, that is what you want from a villain. You actually want the player to dislike them. And that I did do. I actively disliked Tayama, especially after finding out what he did in the underground facility. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Apocalypse adds when I play that. I guess it will be sometime next year, because we're like in the middle of August, and Fortune's Weave comes out in like a month. So I think it will probably do a Apocalypse next year. I could maybe do it by December, but I'm gonna just say next year to be on the safe side. That probably sometime next year is when I'll start Apocalypse, which I'm curious to see what it is that they develop on it. Especially since I played the neutral route, which is where they place off of. So let's see what kind of things you get from New Game Plus now that I've left my review of this game. There, by saving your clear data, you can play on New Game Plus. With New Game Plus, data from your last playthrough will be carried over as you play from the beginning again. You'll also be able to select the Expert difficulty mode. Carrying over the clear data for New Game Plus. The Demon Compendium, Demon Analysis Info, Playlog, and Allowed Fusions will automatically be carried over. All levels of the Burrows app, Skill Expansion, and Demon Skill are also passed on. Ooh. The demon attached to DDS, Digital Demon Service, will also carry over. Oh, I get to keep all my demons I currently have on me too. Hmm. Other data is carried over at the player's choice. Choosing Reincarnation Restart allows you to carry over your level, app points, Maka, equipment, and items. Choosing New Life Start will cause you to carry over nothing besides what is carried over automatically. Which restart would you like to play New Game Plus with? Ah, I do I have to make a choice now? Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess the reincarnation start is helpful just so you can see what the other endings are about. Says it didn't say anything about carrying over alignment, so you will still be able to just hard, I'll be able to hard focus on just siding with Walter and siding with Jonathan on my own time if I want to see those endings. So I'll do reincarnation start, not new life start. Save over the first save file, sure. Because that way I can do this save file again, but actually pick up the last heavenly defense, yada yada. You know, like I can get those and also complete that um Fafnir mission and all that. So let's save over this save file. Writing this save, yes. Save complete. Alright, it took me 73 hours to beat the game. Alright. We have successfully beaten Shin Megami Tensei 4. I know I played it on the lowest difficulty throughout, but I don't think that changes my experience too much. I still felt the bosses were challenging. I never felt like the game was super easy just because I played on lowest difficulty. But I think that it's thanks to how Shin Megami Tensei 4 just... No, not Shin Megami Tensei. Not Shin Megami Tensei 4. How Shin Megami Tensei works in general, that their difficulties are higher compared to most games. So therefore, even the lowest difficulty is on par with like normal difficulty of other games, since their normal is more akin to hard mode of most other RPGs. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed this journey with me with Shin Megami Tensei, and that you felt like all my frustrations were somewhat justified, and I don't know, times when I got really salty over like trying to recruit a demon and whatnot. I hope you found those fun, because that's all I can really hope. I hope that when I have those moments, that there's someone out there that doesn't just, you know, turn off audio, like, oh, he's upset again, just to turn it off. It's like, no, like, some people will probably find it fun, because, hey, I know there are people out there that find that type of drama, or not drama, but that type of emotion to be entertaining. But those on YouTube, I appreciate any and all support you give to my channel, and if you want to see my other playthroughs live, because Shin Megami Tensei 4 is finished, you can always find a link to my Twitch channel in the description below. Until then, stay quackin'.